Hello, everyone. This is Herschel Kirsck. He is giving his own opinions on this, and he requested I respond to him, so I will.
Herschel Kirsck. That's my name on YouTube. My real name is Daggy Ojabula, and I just want to talk about just like my thoughts about like my suffering in society and like how I've been ostracized and atomized and disenfranchised by the system.
This is very standard for this generation of guys.
You see, like nowadays, I notice that in modern society, young men are very lonely. We're being ostracized by the system due to feminism, and
Good call. Good. He calls it out, right? He also, the only thing I'd add, Herschel, is that feminism is enabled or even supported by the average person. That's the other thing. It have no power on its own.
and it's just more or less just the fact that like I've given up.
Also, the average woman who isn't even a feminist deselects men. So feminism is just a branch of it, of the problem, right? Remember, feminism comes from women.
On life because like I feel like the system doesn't care about me. No one came to my rescue when I was a child. See, when I was a child, right, I grew up without my dad, and I grew up with an older sister and an older brother, right.
Exactly. Society doesn't care about children, Herschel. That's a fact. They only talk about children because it wants to make itself feel and look good. But it doesn't care about children. That's a fact. If society cared about children, you wouldn't see parental alienation. In other words, fathers being alienated. You wouldn't see that.
My older sister was like the golden child. She's the girl boss. She was like the girl boss, like most women nowadays. I'm not.
I don't like that term, girl boss. Uh, I mean, I know it's a vague term, but I just prefer the term asshole. Okay.
Sister always had everything while I had nothing. And it's just knowing that growing up, I always seen women just being above me in life. My mom, my sister.
Well, women are above us in life. It's not just you, Herschel. All women are above me too. They have rights that I lack. They can throw me in a cage whenever they feel like lying about it.
Just seeing women constantly just getting everything for nothing while a lot of young men are just here to suffer. We don't get nothing in life. I can't even get a job as a janitor. And, since I was a kid, I've been playing video games since I was like 3 years old. You see, it's funny how, like, men, when they're young in the past, used to be shamed for playing video games. But now everyone's a gamer now, and women are gamers now. So, like, it's okay to be a gamer.
I kind of disagree with that. I'm afraid I do disagree with that, Herschel, because guys are still being shamed for playing video games. They're being shamed for being low status. And video games gets to blame. Anything that gives them release or from stress or enjoyment, that gets blamed. Just suffer until you get status. The girls get bragged up for anything they do. So if they play games, gaming is good, right? But trust me, games are still being shamed.
I mean, I love gaming so much that I failed school. I skipped school because gaming was my life. I used to have a clan on Call of Duty on Modern Warfare 2.
And you have no father in your life, right? So he probably would have forced you to go to school, and your single mother didn't care, right?
And it's just like seeing how my life, I was just ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. I used to be a big gamer. I used to just love video games, YouTube, all that stuff since I was a kid, since I was young. And I noticed that like I got left behind, ironically. I was ahead of most people. Now everyone's a YouTuber. Now everyone's on YouTube now. I've been on YouTube since the beginning. And it's just the fact that like I'm seeing myself being left behind by society because I didn't conform to it. I didn't chase validation. And
Yeah, exactly, Herschel. It's the old man card, right? It's the old manhood card. It's ethereal. You can never hold on to it. It's like trying to grab hold of water, right?
it's just if you're a young man with your head on straight, you're healthy, you're intelligent. No one cares about you because there's no country for young men. Young men are not cared for in this society. We're seen as disposable. No one wants to use us anymore. So it's just the fact that
It's not just disposable. That would be a neutral setting. That'd be indifference. People want you suffering, right? That's the difference. Men aren't just tools. Tools are actually treated with a modicum of respect. People will put their tools away and clean them, right? And value their tools. No, men are people that society wants to suffer.
like I feel like in today's society, a lot of young men are just pushed to the margins to the point of no return. And women don't care, of course. I know this bitch, Shuan Head, she made a video about the male loneliness epidemic. It's 2023. I've been on the manosphere since 2014 with Barbarossa when I found mgtow when I was 18 years old.
I'm glad you called out Chew on Head, because it's true. You're pointing out that some woman pretends she cares about men, and guys flock to her. Her channel grows exponentially. She gets all kinds of views, etc. Now, mgtow, that's a loser group. Hey, everyone, I took the label mgtow. I've got to own up to that. Herschel, I got to own up to that. But I see it was a huge mistake.
When I left high school, and I see all these normies. They're just coming into the internet, the manosphere. When I was 17, 16, I was already in this stuff, and it's just seeing how like I could have capitalized on like how far ahead I was as far as the game goes. See, I was a mgtow before most people knew what mgtow even was. I was red pilled when I was 17 years old, and just seeing how like everything is just synchronizing. You know, Andrew Tate.
Notice that mgtow and red pill doesn't mean anything by itself, right? Without solidarity with other men, there's nothing good is going to come from it.
All these fake grifters are coming onto YouTube because like they're late to the party, you know? And me being ahead of the game, it didn't get me nowhere.
You know something? They're not really late to the party though, Herschel, because they're not doing the same thing you talk about. They're grifting, you're not, right? So they're playing a totally different game. That's why they're successful and you aren't.
You know, all these people are coming up talking about men, the manosphere, incels. You know, I was doing that when I was 16, 17 years old. And I just noticed that like people don't care about young men at all. Trust me.
Yes, exactly. Actually, I'd add to it. Not only do they not care, they're hostile. You know, indifference, as bad as it could be, isn't as bad as the hostility, right?
Even Andrew Tate, he monetizes, he grifts off of male suffering, you know. All these manosphere people like We Waffles and all these dating coaches and PUA, they're just profiting off of male loneliness. They're exploiting male loneliness. All these ASMR girls, all this like Blade Runner, you know, you look lonely, you know, like her. All these ASMR AI girls, you know, on YouTube, they're just exploiting male loneliness. And the fact that like the system is like true force loneliness is real. They're forcing young men to be lonely by force through divorce, through feminism, through the police, through just ostracism, just the way the system is set up. It's just
Now, this is a great call. Thank you, Herschel. Everything you said is 100% on the nose.
It's just a recipe for male loneliness. And now people are talking about it in 2023 when it's too late. So it's just like now that I'm not in school, I'm a full on Neet. I'm a complete Neet. I don't work. I just said fuck it because I'm not gonna work for a system that hates me. You know, there's this website called No Pussy No Work. And I'm a part of that movement because I'm a work.
Yeah, as you know, that's why men need solidarity again, because you're still suffering, even though you're bucking the system, right? So we really need to change the system. Here, let me get back here.
You know, there's this website called No Pussy No Work, and I'm a part of that movement because I'm a virgin. I'm 25. I'm going on 26. I'm a virgin.
You know, I notice Herschel is a part of a rare group of men that are truly brave truly honest and admit their deselection. You know, that's that. I wish I could be this brave, you know. But these guys, I think they have nothing. Well, not think. The average guy has nothing to lose, right? The average guy has nothing to lose. So I guess at least some of them are actually coming out. But trust me, Herschel, even guys with nothing to lose will often still hide the fact that they're not getting any, you know.
I tell anyone that. I know a lot of incels are like, "Oh, black guys can't be virgins." That's bullshit. I never had sex a day in my life, so I chose to give up to Eldar, to Neet, to Rot.
Black guys can't be virgins? They actually say that to you, Herschel? Well, that just shows you that black men are still at the bottom of the pecking pole, because the lower you are, the lower status you are as a man, the more abuse you get, the more blame for your own situation you get.
Because the system doesn't care about me, and I'm tired. I don't make videos that often, you know, and I'm glad City Crusher. Hey, City Crusher, if you're watching this video, please respond to my video, please.
Hey, you requested, request has been accessed.
This Herschel Kirsck, you respond to me a couple months ago, nearly about a year ago. Please respond so that I can get more views. But yeah, it just seemed this fake feeling of just like how now people care about men. When I was younger, when I was suffering, when I was being abused by my mom, when I didn't have my dad, no one cared about men. No one, all this manosphere shit did not exist. It wasn't until 2015 when I found this guy named Aaron Clary. He talked about like how high school is useless, and Aaron Clary was my ticket to the manosphere. Aaron Clary, Barbarossa, Thinking Eight, Element, Spetnaz.
Mine was Girls Write What? I'm getting her name screwed up. Girl Writes What? One of the honey badgers. And like you, Herschel, the people who got us into it are themselves scammers. Aaron Clary is one of the biggest scammer. And the honey badgers are too.
Coltane, Cotier, these people, they were the first mgtows and the men that taught me about male issues. And it's just the fact that I'm seeing just like, I thought things were going to change, but nothing changed. You know, I guess it was just an echo chamber on YouTube.
Exactly. I was in the same boat, and I'm a lot older than you. You know, I was in my late 40s when I got onto this. And I thought men were waking up. But what it is, mgtow, were just a bunch of deselected men posturing. So, unlike you, they don't come out and say, you know, I'm not getting any, and life is tough. They take the cowardly route. They say, oh, I'm not like those other losers. I'm in the same boat, but I'm not. You know, I'm doing this on purpose. Yeah, we see so many of these mgtows, as soon as they get a girlfriend, dump the label and pretend they were never mgtow, right? There was a lot of lowlives in mgtow.
But nothing changed for men, you know, because men don't care about men. You know, men are not going to go on the streets and start marching for all the boys that grew up without their fathers, that had their fathers taken away by child support.
Thank you. Thank you. Herschel, that is 100% true, 100% accurate. Thank you.
They're not gonna abolish the child support system. Like, men don't care about other men. As long as men can get their own shit, their own needs, they don't care about other young men that don't get what they want. So it's just like
it's worse than that. If they get their own shit, Herschel, they'll spit on the men that were in their position. Instead of showing sympathy, they'll say, I got mine. Now I get to abuse the guys beneath me. It's crabs in the bucket.
Child support was abolished and the family court was abolished, and then I'll try my best to get married. But seeing what happened to my dad, I'll be a fool if I even try to get married in this day and age, 2023.
See, now this is great honesty too. Herschel is actually admitting that he would want to be married. You would want the female partner, right? And what's stopping you is that your lack of rights. Agreed. Okay, thank you, Herschel. I would not want to get married ever because even if I had all a level playing field, I know what relationships are, and there's just nothing there. There's nothing there. I'll be honest with you, Herschel. I want to be with someone who loves me for myself. That person doesn't exist. Okay.
There are no traditional women. They're all trad thoughts. Brett Cooper.
No, hold it. You're right. There are no traditional women, but there's never been traditional women, Herschel. This is where you're getting it wrong, okay? You know, traditional women, when people say that, they mean women in a time where they couldn't show their true colors, okay? That's the only difference between the women of the past and quote unquote modern women. The modern women can show their true colors, and the women of the past couldn't.
Shoe on head, all these trad thoughts that are coming on the air saying that they care about men. It's to gaslight men to make them believe that women still care about them in this day and age. Women don't give a fuck about it. Trust me. I'm at a point, not even my mom cares about me. I don't think my mom cares about me too much.
Thank you for admitting that, because it's true. Children are tools to be used by the mothers, just like the fathers, just like the husbands. And you are actually noting it.
This is the way just based on the way she raised me. My sister hates me. So growing up, I always had women hating me. So I'm not used to seeing women care. So when I see
women despise men. It's true. They have contempt for us. And that's why we're either useful to them or we're discarded. And that, as you can see, Herschel, includes your own family.
one head and all these trad thoughts coming out of nowhere saying that they care about men. They just want women see men as tools, women see men as disposable tools. So the gears are slowing down in society. So women want the tools back. They want men to provide for them back because women are lazy. Women are naturally lazy by nature. Women don't like to work at all. So women.
Thank you again, everyone. Listen to Herschel. He's got it right 100%.
See men as disposable tools.
Oh, by the way, Herschel, the only thing you're missing is we men don't want to work either, right? We work to get the girl. And if the girls would give us, if they would want to be with us just for being us, we wouldn't work.
Wallace and ATM machine. So they want men back on the plantation. Now, when I was mgtow, it gave me the avenue to say I don't have to work because there's nothing I want in society. I'm a minimalist. There's nothing I want.
But that's not really true. You do want things. You want the same things I want, Herschel. You want respect and companionship and friendship with people. We want something that is positive and good for us. So otherwise you wouldn't even be making this video.
But at the same time, though, if you don't work as a man, you're going to be so lonely because men, all they're taught is to work. Men can't live without working because that's all they're taught. That's all they're conditioned to believe that they're believe that's what they believe. That's all that they know. So,
well, it's not just being taught that way. If you want companionship, you have to have money to bribe the girl, and you need to work for that reason, right? But also working is really a purpose. Herschel, men want purpose, and often work is your purpose, right? But there's all kinds of guys. If you won the lottery, you would still work, but your work would be for yourself. You would do something that interests you. And you would probably find that you're getting up early in the morning to do something you want to do, right? So
it's just the fact that, in this society, I wish men will stop working completely. In 2023, if you're a young man, there's no reason to work at all. There are no traditional women. There are no holy, submissive, feminine women that will love you for who you are.
Exactly, 100%. But I think when you say work, I would say more accurate that men should not put into a society that despises them and abuses them. What working is really about putting into a society. And as you know yourself, it's not enough to just bail out. Men have to, like you say, get together, get into the streets and tell people that. So the reason I'm not working isn't because I'm a bum. because you hate me and I don't support people who hate me. That's what men have to do.
Women in modern times are materialistic. They're fake.
No. Again, this is why I mentioned it earlier, Herschel. Modern times just allow women to show their true colors. The women of the past were just the same. They just weren't able to do it. They weren't allowed to show it. There were consequences, right?
They're trap thoughts. They're walking contradictions. And so it's just like me wishing for that brotherhood.
It's not a contradiction, though. Trad thought is not a contradiction, because all relationships between men and women is one of prostitution, of one form or another. If you give an engagement ring to a woman to marry her, that's a bribe. That's paying for her time. That's 3 months' salary, right? Going into engagement ring. So it's not really a contradiction, Herschel. It actually makes perfect sense.
You know, watching Edna and Eddie, looking at like Edna and Eddie wanting that brotherhood that I never got to have because men don't value male friendship anymore. Because men are.
Well, I agree with that. But to be honest, we're showing our true colors. Because men didn't ever really want brotherhood anyway. They were kind of forced into it. Look, men form brotherhoods around status, right? So wealthy men with the trophy wife will actually work with other wealthy men. They'll connect with one another. Network, that's the word I'm looking for. They'll network with them. And guys will form unions to make as much money at their job. That is status. And they'll join the military and take the abuse of military in order to murder other men and take their stuff and take the stuff home and bribe their women with. So men do have brotherhoods, but it's almost always, if not always, formed around gaining status, gaining or maintaining it.
That's our pussy obsessed. All this pornography, all this ASMR is humiliating. You know, men are being humiliated. All these down bad dudes that are just like obsessed with just ASMR and this fake artificial intimacy. That because these women, they're not going to give it to you without paying a price. Because modern women are prostitutes.
Like I said, it has nothing to do, Herschel, with modern times. This is the way it has always been. I'm just letting you know that.
So it's like I just wish men can wake up again. Like I remember back in 2015, when I found the ministry, I thought men were gonna wake up collectively and like leave the plantation.
Same here. I thought the same thing. Hey.
Start playing video games together, basketball, like just having fun, you know, with letting society crumble. Fuck society. Society said, fuck you, man. We don't need you. So fuck society, you know? Women said fuck us.
But the thing is, Herschel, deselected men are deselected because they lack status. They're out of the running anyway. So if we can't let society crumble because we're not upholding it, right? Well, to be honest, I do have a part-time job, so I'm involved, but I don't consider myself a pillar of the community, right? You know, I'm not working on the oil rigs or in the mines or the place that's really bringing out the stuff that makes things happen, right? Or the farmers or whatever. But, you know.
In the 60s and the 1960s, during the women liberation movement, men haven't said "fuck you" back. You know, see, mgtow was the awakening. You know, mgtow died because men want to go back to the plantation. Men have this form of Stockholm syndrome where it's just like.
Well, I agree, but mgtow never left the plantation. mgtow is a posturing movement. Because all those guys who were mgtow, they're gone, aren't they? They gained their status. They got their girl. Hey, Barbarossa, the one that got you into it, all of a sudden he stopped making contact. He was in university, right? What happened? Well, he got out of university, got himself a high-paying job. Then he got enough success to bribe a woman in his life, and all of a sudden he stopped making contact, right? He ditched the label.
You see Brett Cooper. She has like 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. She won all these trad thoughts that they want to bring men back, all these trad cons. And mgtow was so.
They're not really trying to bring men back to the temptation. The men haven't left. These women are merely taking advantage of the men who are on the plantation. Lonely men who are paying women, these Asmar women, as you say, they're on the plantation, right?
Powerful. When I found mgtow, it was so. I said, "Wow! Like for the first time, men are free. We don't have to work. We don't have to. We don't have to toil. We don't have. There's nothing to toil for."
Well, we still have to work, right? We still have to work to support ourselves, right? But I know what you mean. If you work becomes very, very easy by comparison once you stop chasing the girl. You get rid of the stress of work.
Women have said fuck us in the 60s. Long time ago, women have went their own way.
Exactly. Thank you. But they're not really going their own way. Okay. They were saying fuck us all the time. They were doing it way before the 60s. Women always had contempt for men, Herschel. It's just the modern times of the 1960s allowed it. They got the contraception and the easy jobs. So they just said something they always wanted to say to men openly.
So men, see, mgtow is real. Women going their own way is real. Women went their own way through feminism, right?
No. Sorry, you were wrong, Herschel, in this case. Women always ruled. They're not going their own way. They're on top of society, and they always were. In the 1800s, they had women who could rack up debt, and their husbands were the ones who were responsible for the debt. Women ruled and always have. They're not going anywhere. They're on top.
But it's like men want to go back. Men want to chase women that left them a long time ago. So it's just
men didn't want to go back. We have never left.
It's like I miss those days when I was able to hang out with my friends. I thought my friends were going to be my friends for life. I thought
exactly. Childhood is humanity. Little girls do not have hypergamy, and little boys have solidarity with one another. But sorry, I'm screwing up the word. Biologically, I'm screwing it up, whatever. Once we hit puberty, we're on our way out. We lose our humanity.
I was going to have brothers, and because, the marriage is dead. What are men working for? Why are men still going to college? Why can't young men just chill and just slack and just relax with each other and hang out, play video games, eat snacks, and smoke weed, with each other? Like, fuck growing up.
This is what I miss. Like, there's this movie called Lady in the Water that everyone really put thumbs down. But there was a great scene in it, and I can't find it, where there was a group of men who just hung around and shot the breeze. And I'd love to show it, but like I say, it's too obscure. They don't have it on YouTube. But I thought, wow, what an unusual group. It was a group of like 6 or 7 guys who just hung around and talked in that movie, Lady in the Water. Yeah. If you ever check out this movie, guys, called Lady in the Water, there's one scene where there's a bunch of young guys. Well, not some, they're different ages too. Some are younger and some are older. And they're just hanging around, talking energetically with one another, sharing what's in their heads. So for no other reason, go to that movie and see if you can find that scene, because it's wonderful. Okay, just letting you know.
People care about growing old. It's just like these people they're living in like this weird fantasy world where there's still like marriageable women and traditionalism is still here. No, it's dead. So I just wish that's why I don't play video games no more, because I lost all my friends. All my friends that I grew up playing games with.
You didn't lose your friends. Your friends abandoned you. Know the difference.
playing Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty, GTA, etc. with, they're all gone because they're all in school or they're working for no reason. If you're a single man with no kids, you shouldn't work at all. Get EBT, get SSI, whatever. Live off your parents, whatever, or be a minimalist. It's just like I just want men to be free, man. Like when I was 18, when I was suffering in school, when I was in pain every day going to school, getting rejected by girls, I was like, no, I had enough of this matrix. And it's just like men are just like they're just going back. See, the incel movement is a psyop because
Like again, men aren't going back. We never left. You can't leave anyway. We can't leave. We are dependent on society to live. So we have to make society better.
see, the incels, they want to go back to the plantation. See, I'm an incel because I never had sex. But mgtow, before I found the incel movement, the mgtow movement was so empowering because it taught me that, like, it taught me the true nature of women. Where I'm not even that attracted. If porn wasn't free, I would not even fat to women because I'm done. I know the true nature. Women can only love what a man provides. They don't love you for who you are. So that Disney love, that Adam and Eve love, that fantasy love in books and movies is not real. So
exactly. Thank you.
So it's just the fact that men have been lied to for so long because men can't keep their dick in their pants and men don't have purpose without women. See, it's just like,
well, whether we keep our dick in our pants has nothing to do with anything. We're lied to anyway. Herschel, people don't like men, so it doesn't matter whether we are celibate or not.
this form of nihilism and existentialism that I've been going to because I feel like I'm the only mgtow on the planet. Like when I was 18,
but I'm glad you brought up nihilism, Herschel. I refuse to become nihilistic. The world is a great place to live in, really, just because other people are scumbags. I don't want the world to burn necessarily just because, I'm treated badly. I just want the people to treat me better, right?
I thought I had a future of freedom.
But I do agree with you that I still, if you're not getting anything out of society, you don't owe society anything. That's true. So I can understand why guys do become nihilistic, right? But once you get the girl, all of a sudden you're not nihilistic anymore. And you say, oh, even though the world's just as bad as it's always been, it's okay to live in it because I'm getting what I want. As you pointed out, this is what I refuse to do.
But it's like men don't know what to do with their freedom. That's why, like Esther Villar's book, The Manipulated Man, it's like men didn't know what to do with their freedom. So when men went right back to the plantation because they don't know a world beyond work, beyond sex, beyond having children. So it's just like men went back to the plantation because there's no point in being free because you don't know what to do with your freedom. So it's just like growing.
Now that's a very good point. Men don't really know what to do with their freedom, right? Children do. When we were little boys, we knew exactly what to do with our freedom because we could enjoy our freedom, right? And very few grown men can do it. There are men that do it, but we're a minority.
When I was 18, when I left high school, I thought mgtow was going to explode. With all this misandry and feminism, and gynocentrism, and anti-male bullshit, I thought mgtow was going to just explode.
Yeah, so did I, but it was a lie. mgtow was a lie. So, of course it failed.
They were going to talk about it on the news, mgtow, but no, men don't care. Men don't care about each other. There's no brotherhood. It's even worse now.
Yeah, because you know something? People were worried about mgtow for a little while till they realized that these were the men they were discarding anyway. Then they realized there was nothing to worry about.
It's all the simping, the down bad views, the gynocentrism. You see all these female rappers. It's just you just see how like men have regressed. The red pill has been so diluted, and
well, the red pill wasn't any good anyway. The reason I was getting diluted is because it wasn't getting men what they wanted. So of course men regress to, scammers, it's that sort of thing.
Even the black pill is so rudimentary, like there are no chads, because in this day and age, with just like the genetic stock, most men are average. There are no chads and tyrones in this feminist, gynocentric, anti-male society. There are no patriarchal warriors. All that bullshit. That's a lie.
Good, thank you, everyone. I hope you're listening.
Oofy doofy is law. So it's just like, I thought men were gonna change. I thought things were gonna change. I thought mgtow was gonna explode, but it didn't. Nothing happened.
Same here, 100% correct.
So it's just like, now that my mom's getting older, and I might just get a job and call it quits, because I thought I was holding down the line for 8 years since I left. Since I left high school, I said I'm not gonna work. I'm not going to school. I'm not getting a job. I'm gonna be in Neet. I said fuck society. But I'm realizing now it's better to have a job and to work and stuff like that, because it's just like.
Well, I agree with that. Thank you for this. Listen to this guy. Having a job is really to say it's better to have purpose. Exactly. It's great to have purpose. Like I said, when we were little boys, we had purpose, even though we didn't have jobs. Because our purpose was to get together with other little boys and have a great time. We'd wake up in the morning and say, okay, it's summer. What am I going to do? There was purpose. But sadly, like, I wouldn't want to lose my part-time job because it gets me out of the bed, gets me outside, and then I enjoy my time off better, right? And you do run in and talk to people, you interact with people.
It's just the fact that, like, there's no purpose without women or money or working. So I understand why men are so on the plantation, because there really is no purpose. Every day I just sit in the house, I just watch TV, I sleep, I play video games sometimes, I watch YouTube, I listen to music, and that's it. I do the same thing every day. So I understand why men work. I understand why men still want to get married in this time, because there's no purpose without women, And that's what we were biologically engineered to do, is to reproduce. So men are suffering.
I disagree with that. Because women who produce children, or I should say they incubate them, I've got to be accurate, they can't do anything without men. They have decided to not have children. The birth rates in every modern society, every first world society, drops. So they ignore their desire to have children. And so do men, right? If you get together with a woman and she decides not to have children, you don't leave her, because you're there for her, not the children. And she only has the children as a use, right? I mean, you're a single, your mother's single mother, right? So you're a use to her, right? So it's biology. It should be ignored or put in its proper context, at least, right? It has effects, but not the same effects that that people are claiming that it does.
Because they're not fulfilling their biological imperatives. So it's like, I don't blame mgtow for dying. Mgtow died a long time ago. mgtow is a very short. Feminism has been around since the 50s, and mgtow was like 8 years.
Even before that, there was feminist in the 1800s.
Maybe a decade of mgtow on the internet. I never met an actual mgtow in real life, so it's just the fact that, like, I thought mgtow was going to change society. There was going to be an impact, but I guess it wasn't going to happen. So now women took over the manosphere with Just Pearly Things, Femme Sapiens, Sydney Watson, Brett Cooper, Siobhan Head, women, Candace Owens, women took over the manosphere, and all the trash cons, like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Herschel. Women infiltrate what men build up, and they siphon all the good out of it. And as you've noticed, they do much better because men haven't changed. All those mgtow guys never changed. They want women around too, right? Well, you asked me to respond. I have responded. And I think I'm glad. I want people to hear this message of yours anyway, right? I think there's a lot of good to it. So thank you, Herschel. Goodbye, everyone.